Hi, my name is Ingrid. I'm a healer and a medium. In this practical part of the Healer Circle series, you get to witness or even experience different healing styles. I hope you'll enjoy it. Welcome back, Liza Miron. I'm so happy to have you join us again.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for bringing up this opportunity.
Yes, we've had a pleasure to have a chat with you before where you told us more about who you are, a family constellation facilitator and a trainer, and you told us more what family constellation is. But this time we thought we'll do a little bit more like a hands-on experience so people could also have a better understanding of, one thing is to talk about it. The other one is perhaps to witness or experience it. So I will pass it on to you and you tell me what we need to do.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ingrid. So family constellations, for the ones that don't know anything about it, it's a type of ancestral healing. So what we're doing in the family constellations is that we're looking at the unconscious parts, the blockages, the patterns, the emotions, the trauma that we carry for our ancestors. For us, belonging is important for survival. And we're so grateful for our life that we want to give back. So we take on all these issues that our ancestors were not able to resolve. And it's completely unconscious. So we don't know that we're doing it. So sometimes we're struggling with guilt and we feel guilty with every single thing that we do, even if it's not our fault. Sometimes we have issues with anger. Sometimes we're stuck in a pattern that we want to have abundance in our life and we always manage to lose our money, or we want to have a healthy partner relationship and we're never able to attain that. And those patterns that we see in ourselves or from the ancestors are the patterns that we unconsciously carry. So if we unconsciously say, ancestor, just like you, I will struggle with anger, with guilt, with suffering, with not having a partner, with not having abundance, no matter what we do in our life, that's going to guide our life, our decision, because that's so unconscious, so deep, that if we try to do things differently, we're going to auto-sabotage ourselves. Because deep down, what we want is to follow this decision, this promise, this vow, this bond that we have with the ancestor. Mm-hmm. So with family constellations, we're going like deep into the unconscious to find those patterns, entanglements, we call them entanglements, to be able to release them. And the way we release them is by connecting with our ancestors, honoring and respecting them, and deciding to release this, because that's actually what the ancestors want. That's what the family systems want. They don't want more suffering. I mean, what's the benefit of that? So what we're going to do today is going to be an exercise to start doing that. Okay. So we're going to do first a very short meditation to center ourselves. And then the exercise is going to be with an ancestor that you carry something from. And you don't need to know who this ancestor is. The field is going to choose the one that's connected to this. So what you need to know is what you want to work on. Maybe it's an emotion. Maybe it's maybe it's guilt. Maybe it's a sadness that you struggled with sadness. Maybe it's anger. Maybe it's a pattern that you have in your life. You can choose whatever you want to work with. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to ask you to stand up, and there are going to be two positions. So one is going to be you. You're going to be standing like this, looking in front, and here is going to be your ancestor. Mm-hmm. So you will start in your position, and then I'll ask you to go to the ancestor position, and then go back and forward according to how I'm guiding you. And this is how we're going to do the exercise. Do you have any questions about that?
Do I need to think of what it is that I want to address out loud or in my mind?
So you can do it out loud. Mm-hmm. However, because this is a recording and people are going to be doing this on their own, so for this instance, do it in silence in your mind.
Sure.
Because this way, that doesn't interrupt the experience that the viewers are going to be having. However, for all the viewers, do it out loud, because when you use your voice out loud, it has more strength.
Yeah. So just to clarify, for the viewers, first they can watch us do it, but then they can go back and they can do it at home. Basically, you are guiding them as you're guiding me, but they're going to do everything as they are me. Basically, like they are them, but they come up with their own, what they want to address. And they could technically do several things if they want to keep watching the video over and over, right?
So, of course.
Excellent. So let's get started with a meditation or whatever you need us to do.
Okay, perfect. So for the meditation, all you need to do is just keep your back straight, and if you feel comfortable, close your eyes and take a deep breath and exhale. And you're going to feel a ray of light coming from up above, coming from God, from Source, from the divine, from the universe. However you want to call this energy that's greater than us, that can guide us, that can help us. This energy of the divine essence of love. You're going to feel this energy inside of you and all around you. You're going to feel that this energy is resourcing you. It's giving you exactly what you need in this moment without you needing to know what it is. Maybe it's love, support, wisdom, strength, clarity. Maybe it's something in your physical body or with your energy, your thoughts, or your emotions. Just open up to receive. And now you're going to ask your guides, your ancestors, your protectors, your helpers that are connected with this energy of the divine essence of love, to be present as you're doing this exercise so that you're guided and so that everything that's happening is for your greatest benefit and that of your whole family system. And now take another deep breath and exhale. And you can open your eyes.
Lovely.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm more centered, more grounded. I'm ready.
Perfect, perfect.
Okay.
So, do you already have in mind what you want to work on?
Yes. Do you want me to
Okay.
share or no, or just keep it like
You
this?
don't need to share. You don't need to share. Just wanted to know. So then you can stand up,
Okay.
and you're going to be standing first in your position.
Okay. I'll be here.
Okay. So in front of you, there's an ancestor, and you're looking at this ancestor. You don't know who this is, but it's connected to this issue. Notice your body. Notice your sensations, your emotions. What comes up right now that you're looking at this ancestor? Just notice. Now you're going to step out of your position and you're going to go to your ancestor's position. And now you're in your ancestor's position, looking at you. And notice what comes up. Maybe you want to look in a different position. Notice the sensations in your body. Notice your emotions. Just notice. And now you're going to go back to your position. And you're going to look at your ancestor. And as you're looking at your ancestor, you're going to say, I see you.
I see you.
You are my ancestor.
You're my ancestor.
You are part of my family system.
You are part of my family system.
You belong and will always belong.
You belong and will always belong.
I know you did your best.
I know you did your best.
I choose to honor and respect you.
I choose to honor and respect you.
A long time ago, I chose to carry this just like you.
A long time ago, I chose to carry this just like you.
But this is not helpful to you or to me.
This is not helpful to you or to me.
With the same love that I took this,
With the same love that I took this,
I now choose to release it.
I now choose to release it.
I'm doing this for myself,
I'm doing this for myself,
but also for you
but also for you
and for everyone in the family system.
and for everyone in the family system.
Thank you for being my ancestor.
Thank you for being my ancestor.
Okay, so now you're going to go back to the position of your ancestor. Notice how you feel. Notice if anything is different from before. Notice if anything has shifted. And now go back to your position. And notice if there's anything different for you. Okay, so we're leaving here the exercise. When you feel ready, you can sit down.
Thank you so much for this experience. It was interesting. It was lovely. And I thought I'll share a little bit just because I think things come up to different people very differently based on if they feel, they know. And some might even say, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't feel a thing. Could we see or know a thing or notice a thing? Could we start from before I share my experiences and what else I went through? To the people who are first time, completely haven't done any sort of energy work or constellation work, and they went through the motions, but just felt like they didn't understand it. Although I think for a lot of people, something does happen. Either they know it or feel it or sense it or see it, whatever that is. What is your suggestion to the people? Like, keep trying till one day something opens up, or what are your thoughts?
That it's happening. Just because you're not feeling it, it doesn't mean that it's not happening. You can feel absolutely nothing. Mm-hmm. So first, by being here, by listening to this, by choosing to do this, what you're saying to yourself, to your energy, to the universe, to the field, to the system is that I'm here, I'm ready, I want to heal, I'm doing what I can. So it doesn't matter how much you feel, how much you sense, how much information you get, because we all have different ways of connecting to the energy, to the information. And some people have not developed that, so they don't have that capacity to connect very easily. And it doesn't matter that it doesn't mean that the things are not happening, because they are happening.
Right.
Because they're doing this, because they're making the decisions. So if you see in the phrases that you were saying, you were making decisions to honor, to respect, to release. Mm-hmm. And that's where the healing takes place, by you deciding. It is not by what you feel and what you don't feel. It's by your decisions. And something that is important is that you act, depending on what you decided. Maybe you want to have health, then, do something that will bring more health to your life. Mm-hmm. More exercise, healthy diet, whatever that needs to do. But the action after this work is important, because then you're again putting out there in the universe, I'm walking toward this direction. I'm ready to live. I'm ready to enjoy. I'm ready to live my life to the fullest.
Yeah, and I would like to add, there's a reason whoever is watching it, why they're watching it. Otherwise, it wouldn't, something brought them here to watch it in the first place. And another thing I would like to add is sometimes the things we notice or we think would happen immediately might actually show up days, weeks, months, years later. But the shift energetically still takes place, even if they might not witness it, even if they might think like, I don't think this did a thing. And then suddenly, if they start paying attention, it's like, wait a minute, that's different from what I'm used to. Like, oh, I'm not getting irritated about something. Or, it could be a very subtle shift that's not immediate, but there is a shift for sure. Then another thing I wanted to bring up, because that happened to me, is people could experience not just emotional, or again, for me, a lot of things are visual, because to me, things come through in different ways, but visual is the strongest. And but I also felt to this time, and that's what I wanted you to also comment on, is I got, when I addressed my ancestor, I got this sharp pain in the back of my shoulder, and visually I saw it was an older man walking with a cane. So I understand that for him physically, this area was all sore and in pain. And of course, by the end, it had gone away again. But when I first connected with him, I got this really sharp pain. So I just wanted you to add to the people that if something happens physically or emotionally, that emotions come out or some pains can come, this is all normal. Don't freak out. I've had clients who sometimes even throw up after a session because there's so much that needs to come out, that needs to be cleared. So could you add a little bit more from that area as well?
Yes, thank you for adding those very important parts. First, that the healing takes place the way it needs to. Sometimes it's immediate, sometimes it takes time. This is energetic work, and we're moving a lot of things connected to us, to our past, to the family system. So it takes place whenever it needs to, and we just need to let things happen in their own time and way. And the second part is that, yes, we could feel emotions, sensations, physical sensations as well. And what's important to know is what you mentioned, that these are things that are being healed, that are being released. It's not something that's coming toward us, but it's something that we have inside that is being released because of the exercise that we're doing. So whatever's happening, we just need to allow it, easily, gently, taking care of ourselves, doing what we need to be able to handle the situation in the best way possible. And if anything is very intense, we always have the capacity to connect to the wisdom of our system, of our body, and say, please lower the intensity. This is a little bit too much for me. Let's go more gentle. We have that capacity always. So if anything is too intense, then just connect to your center, to your essence, to your truth, and say, I want this to be a little bit less intense so that it's easy to manage, because right now it's too much for me. So remember that, and remember that what's coming up, it's coming up because you're releasing it, because you're healing it. Mm-hmm. Just allow it from a center place to continue its own process.
Yes. And I also wanted to add to the point where earlier said, even if you might not know what's going on, or you might not believe or understand how it works, just by saying those things, even, out loud, I guess is a little bit better than just in your mind. Is that the case? Mm-hmm. Because when you did tell us to do those things that I see you, at that point, I realized is where so much shift took place, because often our issues, our ancestors, whatever it is it's just hidden somewhere, either energetically or emotionally or like physically in our bodies as, sicknesses or health issues. But the second I told the ancestor that I see you, something just shifted. Something I saw, in my mind, I see it as movies, and I see this older gentleman going from this like a complaining kind of like, oh, I'm just suffering here, doing my thing. And then when I saw, I see you, immediately I saw how suddenly like the cane went out the window and the butterflies were flying. And so it just shows through the movies that I see that, okay, he's like in a happier place, and he put his forehead against my forehead and kind of like, let's do this together. And so I can see the immediate shift, be it Akashic Records or whatever that is. We're healing these, regardless of time and space, doesn't matter. So even if you don't understand it all, it can come in so many different ways, but just going through the emotions, energetically still doing the shift. So thank you for sharing this and teaching to, it seems such a quick thing that people could do. And of course, I encourage them to come and see you and do like the either in-person or online sessions that are much more in depth and everything. But also, could you share a little bit after, because in the beginning we're connecting with the source or, ground ourselves and so forth. And in the end, is it a good thing? What do we want to do in the end, in addition to adding some water? What are your tips for once person has done this exercise, then what is good to do afterwards?
So connect with gratitude.
Yes.
For your life, for this ancestor, for the healing, and make the decision to enjoy your life. That's not the best healing that we can do, to decide to enjoy our lives.
Yes.
And a little bit of what we said before. I mean, you said drink a lot of water, but to allow this to happen in its own time and way, knowing that you're supported, that you're not alone. Remembering the meditation that we did at the beginning, That's why it's so important, the meditation, because we're bringing the intention. We're doing this for the best healing for us and our whole family system, and we're asking for guidance. So we're not alone. So remember that at the end as well, that as this is integrating, processing, you're not doing it on your own, like, oh my God, this is overwhelming. No, just I'm being held in this process, and it's happening with its own time and wisdom the way it needs to.
Yes. What would you tell to the very eager people who now are like, "Oh, okay, I'm going to do 10 different things back to back all today just because this is such a great tool and I want to now fix everything in my life." What do you tell the people who are like getting really eager, wanting to do maybe too much? What would you tell them?
Great question. I'm so glad you asked that. My recommendation is to wait.
Yes.
Wait and maybe do one, and then wait at least, I don't know, at least 4 days to see how the process is. Because the first time that you start doing this work, a lot of things are going to come.
Yeah.
So you need to take some time to integrate and then see how you're feeling, how's it going, and then you do another one. And then wait a few days as well. So don't do, especially at the beginning, too much altogether. Take some time. Yeah. As you start doing this with time, then you don't need to wait 4 days. Maybe you just want to wait one. And if you've done a lot, then maybe you want to do one in the morning, one in the afternoon. You can follow your own guidance. However, when you start, wait a few days in between so that you see how your system, your body, your energy is integrating this.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Oh my God, Lisa, I'm so grateful you shared this with us and we got to experience it. And I can't wait to do something else with you because every time we meet up, there's something fun. So, but thank you for today, for taking the time and introducing us to something amazing we can do for ourselves. And again, we'll add a link where people can learn more about you and what you do and how to reach out to you, and to the video where you tell more about who you are and how you got onto your path and talk more about family constellation.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for this. I think this is such a beautiful way of bringing this healing available for everyone. So thank you for doing this.
Thank you. I can't wait to see you next time.